To be honest, Jomo Sono and Jomo Cosmos, those are two brands in one, and you cannot wash away these two brands in South African football. If you talk about football in South Africa, you have to mention Jomo. Good or bad, you have to mention Cosmos. If you talk about best strikers in the country, development in the country, you have to mention Jomo or mention Jomo Cosmos. So this is a brand. Whether this brand is in the third division, fourth division, fifth division, this brand will always be number one in South African football. Whether you like it or not, you have to accept it. That's it.
Now, Roger, with the sponsorship, guess maybe it's another way to say it's long overdue that team has come back to the season.
I think you're right. It's every chairman or coach dream to go back to the PSR. So we are going to give it a go because our plan was for 3 years. So we are on our third year now. So we want to with the backing of Lucas Petrus, I think definitely we will go up.
In which aspect does the backing of the company help you?
Paying of the referees because SAFA doesn't pay referees. Paying transport.
You please contextualize that so it's not
No, the referees get allowance from the clubs. So we as the clubs must pay allowance to the referees, not SAFA paying them. You're right.
Yeah.
I might be called to the DC.
Yeah. Okay, um, I've had a lot of concern coming from clubs in different provinces. You've only been in this space for 3 years. Some say the unpaid money that they talk about, chunk of the revenue for the teams traveling and everything. And it is in Gauteng, smaller province, province like the Eastern Cape, where the team travels 1,400 kilometers in one way to honor a picture. And they say all those monies have not been paid for close to 5 years now. How just difficult?
It's very, very difficult, And I have had talks with some of the teams. It's very, very difficult. Maybe the problem is that we love football so much, Sekazi, and maybe as time goes on, SAFA will have some money in the kitty and be able to pay those teams because some of them have been complaining about 5 years to me. I said, hey, there's nothing I can do. I've not been here for 5 years. I only been here for 2 years. So it's a bit difficult. But in the 2 years I've been here, I haven't had anything. I haven't received any. I don't know if there's monies that are due to the clubs, but personally, Cosmos hasn't received any money from me. But we carry on playing. We carry on with our job.
So you mean the annual grant that is supposed to come, you will receive 50%?
No, not yet. Maybe it's coming.
But when you talk about development of South Africa, how important
It's very important. It's very, very important. Development in football is key. You look at Barcelona now. In the recent game, that 7 under 17 players sitting on the bench who were playing. So that's development. Lamil is coming from development at Barcelona. So that's development. Because you can't play with Jomo Sono until he dies. You need to have new players coming up, like the Mofokengs of this world. You know, I mean, they are bringing fresh air into football. These new players.
We've also seen a trend of a lot of ABC Motsepe players coming straight to the top flight. So would you say that the standard of football is good enough?
It's high. People don't. I will tell you now. They must not underestimate Motsepe. That league is tough. It's a very good league. It's a very good league. It's been spoiled by other things which you won't mention here, but the league is a good league.
You say that the system that current, obviously it's split into provincial and things like that. Would you say the system is fair and it's giving the best teams the opportunity to get the professional rank. Because I can only speak from the Western Cape perspective, and I hardly see the best team. Or the Western Cape teams generally do poorly at the playoffs, and I always see a lot of investment, a lot of good players, players of Ajax and that fall through the cracks in those teams. They get to the players and they're gone, and all the players disappear with them.
Yeah, I think the problem is that what I've noticed in South African football is that with the officials and everybody else, we don't discuss football. There's no discussion of football here. If the chairman or the leader has decided this is it, it must be like that. There's never been meetings where we discuss the way forward to football. How can we restructure this ABC Motsepe? Because you play the whole year, you win, you go to the playoffs, you get knocked out.
2 games.
Only 2 games and then you're out. It doesn't make sense. It's painful. But we need to sit down as football people. They must open up to us. They must call us to an indaba, football indaba, where everybody is given an opportunity to say something. The journalist must be involved. You can appoint maybe 10 supporters to be involved from different clubs and the chairmen of the club. Let's sit down and talk about football. If we think football is in the amateur, is going the right way, let's sit down and talk. We must not fight or hammer each other in the press. There's so much that can be exposed now about amateur football, but it's not the way now. Not the way. We need to sit down and talk about the way forward of solutions.
Ajay, I think I relate more to what you're saying. Most of us, we started covering football at amateur level. Where we come from, because Bushbucks was just the only professional team. And so this league was very professional league. And when I look at it, the structure, as you say, has been the same since the Vodacom started in 1997 till today. And I think if you look just globally, and you guys have also traveled a lot, football evolves. And a lot of things that are being introduced as well. So I think I relate to the statement that you're making. From 1997, almost 30 years now.
Still the same.
Still the same. Nothing has changed.
Football has evolved. That's a mouthful. Though we're still sitting on the same story for so many years. You know what's the reason? Because the officials in football don't want to sit with stakeholders in football because they feel intimidated. They believe they must be on their own and decide on their own and decide for us and spoon feed us, and then we go and play. What can we do? We have to play because we are members. But I think the time has come now that stakeholders in football, let's sit down. We're not going to fight. Just to talk, to see what can we do about this Motsepe, because it's a very, very good league. It's a very good league, honestly. If it's properly run, it's a very good league. Most of the players playing in the Premier League are coming from that league. So, do the big wigs want to sit down and listen to other people's opinions? They must not send a manager. That's what happens here. When we have an opening meeting, they just send the manager who's got no power. Yeah, the president I said, "Ngisayobuza, ngisayobuza, ngoba sihleli lapho nje." See, that's the problem. The big wigs must come down and talk to us and listen, whether it's PSL or SAFA, as long as it's football. Sit around with your people. See the way forward with the people. It must not be something that will happen and say, "Eh, the sponsor is gone now. We must make a plan." No, see to the people. You can find a lot of people who are positive in football. There's a lot of people who are positive. It's not everybody negative. Even the journalists, there's a lot of positive journalists. For instance, yourself. 1997, even following football. There's a lot we can put into those big weeks, but they don't want to sit around the table. We need to sit around the table. Thina abanye sesikhulile salwi besilwa kuqala. Manje siyekile le nto. I don't know. Maybe isazovuka le nto yokulwa. I don't know. But asisafuni ukulwa sesikhulile manje we want to do things. Sihlale phansi with the big leagues. Please talk to us.
You've been in the top three division of
Yeah.
South African football. Do you think there is an opportunity like professionalize this ABC Motsepe League? Because I mean you've been in the NFD, so you know the challenges there. Do you think that is a possibility to professionalize it?
If we can get the support of TV, it can be. If you don't have the support of TV, you have no chance. That is why you find NFD struggling because they don't have a support of TV. Maybe 4 games, 2 games in a year, and so forth. That is why the grant there doesn't increase. It's been staying like that for. It's difficult for them. Just for an NFD team to fly to Cape Town, it's a lot of money.
See, they're flying on match day.
What can they do? They have to do that. Some will be using buses soon. You watch, they'll be using because they cannot afford to fly. Maybe in the future, because the rail is working, if some of us get promoted, we'll use the railway. I will use Brasa to go and play and come back. What can we do? There's nothing we can do.
On a different matter, tonight is Bafana qualifiers. Just for a general overview of what is made of
H.
for the last while.
H.
And also,
I've not been following Bafana Bafana. Who's in the team?
yeah, Chole.
Who?
Yeah,
That's it. That's the only player I remember.
But I think,
He's a good player.
yeah, but I think the last time
It's a good player.
Yeah, what was saying? The last time we spoke to you, you could see, and I think it was even long before we even went to the AFCON. Coach Bruce was doing something, and and I think now he's just a few months away from being a longest coach ever. After Coach Clive Barker, what would you attribute?
I think he's doing a good job. We must not take away the fact that he is doing a good job. And I think he'll stay longer. If he can survive you guys, he will stay longer. When he started, he was being character assassinated left, right, and center. And he proved all of us wrong. But I think he's a good coach. He's doing well. He's doing very well.
What do you think he has done differently? Because when he arrived, he was just talking about rebuilding, but after a year, he quickly
He noticed that it's a different ball game. The national team is not a ground where you can rebuild or build players. National team, you just have to play players who are ready and go and win. That's it. That's what he's doing. He's playing players who are ready to go and play for the country and win.
What I would expect in terms of football is this. How far can
To be honest, he highly talented kid. He needs to be protected. And I think the coach at Pirates is doing a good job because twice I saw him pulling him off because the kid was starting to struggle. And a kid like that, the moment he starts to struggle, take him out. You're protecting him, you're building. So that next game he comes in because that Mkhize was a bit stronger physically, was a bit stronger for him, even though he scored with a ball which was played over Mkhize. But after that, he couldn't go past him. He was shoving him all over the place, was tackling him, and so forth. But he's got a bright future. With a bright future, he needs to be protected properly.
Last season, last year this time, you actually said Chiefs had made some funny things for the assessment based on what they find.
I haven't seen who they signed this season. Who have they signed? Honestly, I'm being serious. Last season, I thought they had some good players, so I was very surprised that it didn't go their way.
Woodley.
You know, I've seen little bit of it. Good players, arena. I've seen that. They call him Lungu. He's a left back as well. They've signed two left backs. Who?
Yes, Galaxy.
It's not bad. It's not bad. I don't know.
Apollo Blom's back.
Okay. You know the problem when you're at Chiefs and Downs? To sign for those teams, hey, needs a character of the player. You don't just take a player who was not even playing in his team and think you'll put him there because firstly, they have the biggest following in the country. You know, you can imagine you make one mistake and then start shouting at you. Just lose confidence. So we just hope that those are right players for whatever these teams are signing. It has to be the right player for the team. It's important. It's important to have a Kaizer Chiefs, Pirates, Sundowns,
And a Jomo Sono.
and Jomo Sono's back. Yeah, it's good for the league.
But people make that blanket statements often. What does it actually mean?
About what?
Everyone says like
having
a good Chiefs.
No, he keeps the image of the league up there. I mean, let us be honest. If Paris didn't get to the final, the top eight wouldn't be so. The team that is making the top eight to click is Paris, and they're playing well at the moment. And Sundowns is out now. The finalists, Stellies and and Paris. But yes, they've qualified. They deserve to be there. Can you imagine if it was Pirates and Chiefs in the final? The whole country would be buzzing. At the moment, quarter of the country is buzzing for them. It's all Pirates, 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 Pirates.
Parents, always be very close. You are parents.
How do you know?
I mean, I look at Coach Jose. I think also since Coach Paul is also the first coach to be on the final year of his 3-year contract, and you just see there's just different ways. You just look even the players they signed this season, they didn't sign a lot, and they've got a lot of potentials coming up. You still look, I think in the first 5 matches in their starting lineup, and 95%, if not 98%, of the players that they played are players from the Premier League.
Yeah, he knows what he's doing. I think he's a very good coach. He's not a coach who's after publicity. He just wants to do his job. You have coaches here, especially. I know one in the NFD, just a publicity coach, and that's it. Some are not publicity coach. They do their job.
And he's transforming.
He has. He's done a good job. Let's not take that away from him. He's done a very good job. Hope he stays. But knowing in football, you can wake up tomorrow, he's gone. That's football. I'm the only one who wakes up and still.
How long will it be?
I don't know. As long as God permits. Yeah.
Prajay, in your opinion, a team like Pirates, should they?
Yeah, with the kind of form they have, I think they, they'll go far with the kind of form. If they slump on that form, then they'll be out. It all depends on the form.
What form, Prajay? What else does it take for you to do apart from
We people are of course short-minded people, especially South Africa. You even forget that Cosmos was the first team to reach the semi-final. I don't think you remember. Huh?
Those players moved to Paris.
And those players, the following year, they moved to Paris. They won it. So some people they do forget, but you need to keep on reminding them before they die.